Welcome to Basic Brewing Video. I'm James Spencer.
I'm Steve Wilkes.
We're revisiting a topic that we did a long time ago, but we're adding a little twist.
And this is not old kombucha.
This is new kombucha.
Okay. That's a topic for today.
We did kombucha a long time ago, and back then I started a fresh batch of kombucha using a SCOBY, or a symbiotic colony of bacteria and yeast, or a mother, which is what this stuff is floating on top of this, to make a kombucha, which is, I guess we should say, it is a sour fermented tea. So you put this this SCOBY stuff in your sugar, your sweetened tea, and it ferments it and it sours it up, and it makes a nice, refreshing, probiotic, they say, beverage.
It's very good for you.
Yeah, but the thing is, it's really easy, and it's really easy to do from scratch using a commercial bottle of the kombucha. And so let me tell you how I did it. I made a tea, and I got to say, I got the inspiration for this. I did a show with Phil from My Life as a Foodie, the podcast and the blog. And he had been doing kombucha, and so that got me kind of re-interested in it. So cheers to Phil. So what I did was I made a half a gallon of tea. So bring half a gallon of water up to 150 degrees Fahrenheit and put in 8 tea bags and half a cup of sugar.
You know, I thought this was Southern kombucha.
That'd be like 4 cups of sugar.
Okay. So this is not Southern kombucha.
No.
Okay. Just want to clear this up.
But so the ratio is 1 cup of sugar per gallon.
Okay.
So I started with half a gallon of this tea, and I used green tea, but you can use black tea as well. Try not to use tea that has oil in it.
Yeah.
Like
Earl Grey.
Earl Grey would not be good.
Yeah. Duke of Earl would not be good either.
That's right.
If you get that joke, you're older than I am.
So anyway, you take your tea, and I only brought it up to 150 degrees Fahrenheit because Phil said that if you boil it, you get more astringency out of the tea. So I let it cool overnight, and just like we're going to do today, I poured it in this jug, and I got a pint of commercial, raw, unpasteurized, unfiltered kombucha with a little bit of stuff floating in the bottom of it. And I poured it, the whole thing, the whole pint, into my tea. And 3 weeks later, a nice pellicle had formed on the top, the nice SCOBY, and it had soured and it tasted delicious. And what you do is you pour some off and drink it, and then you replenish, and it just keeps going.
Just keep going.
So that's what we're going to do here today. Oh, and initially I had used an airlock, but people online said, because I posted on Twitter and Facebook and such, people said, don't use the airlock, just use a paper towel with a rubber band around the top, because it needs the oxygen to make the SCOBY.
Yep, and I remember us talking about that, and I learned the same thing. That so my initial thought was, you got to have an airlock. Right. No, it's a different process altogether.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the you want to try a little bit of the unadulterated stuff here. I like my kombucha pretty darn tart, pretty darn sour, and I got my pH meter and I measured, and it was like below 3 pH. So drink slowly.
Oh. Got any sidewalk you need to have that?
Here, let me.
It's actually. Oh boy. That's tart. That's good though. Really, it is. But it's tart if you're not expecting it.
Oh. Woo.
Yeah.
That brightens up your taste buds.
That'll brighten up your fish.
Woo. Wow.
That'll brighten up about anything.
So but the thing is, you can either back sweeten it after you've fermented it, or you can, when it's gotten down to the sourness. Boy, my salivary glands are just active.
If you back sweeten it, will it continue to ferment?
Yeah, but if you want to
drink it quickly,
or just as you're drinking it, like you sweeten tea, you can put some sugar in your glass.
So that's how you get the Southern kombucha.
That's right. Okay.
All right.
So what I have here is half a gallon of this sweetened tea.
And we don't have to use a racking cane or?
Nope. And you don't. And once this stuff gets all sour, You don't have to worry so much about sanitation because it's
pretty low.
It's pretty low, and it's going to retard the growth of any bugs.
And you're not using like a 3-tier system.
No,
It's really as simple.
It's a single vessel system. Oh, and I meant to say that if you are like buying, you can buy these scobies commercially for like $20 or something
really
like
expensive.
that. Ridiculous.
Yeah.
And if you do that, when you're putting it into a sweetened tea, you might want to put some vinegar in there to sour the tea to retard the growth of mold or anything like that. Or you can do what I did, and with a half a gallon size, you can take a pint of commercial kombucha, which is all it was sour already, and just pour the whole thing in there, and that should lower your pH a bit. So basically, let's see if I can spill this all over the place.
Pour from the left, serve from the right.
We're both left-handed, so there you go, and you can see the SCOBY, the mother, bobbing around in there, and
It's like a balloon of SCOBY.
it's like a funky-looking bubble there. So here in a few days, you'll see another fresh SCOBY floating on the top. And if I wanted to take that out and put it in a baggie and send it home with you, you could start your own batch of kombucha at home. So there you go. That's how that. But we're not satisfied with just that.
No.
I said we.
But wait, there's more.
Well, wait, there's more. When I was looking at the store for the kombucha to inoculate my first batch, I saw some hopped kombucha, which I took to your homebrew store, Steve's Brew Shop, in Fayetteville, Arkansas, and we shared that, and it was wow, that is really good.
Yeah.
And so I did some experimentation on how to hop kombucha, and here's what I come up with, and it works pretty good. What I do is I pour my kombucha off into a bowl, and I just put pellet hops into the kombucha.
Okay.
So in this is a liter of kombucha, that stuff, with a quarter of an ounce of Amarillo in there.
So it's a West Coast kombucha.
That's right.
Okay.
Now, at first, what I did was I put the hops into a hop bag and put it in there, and I noticed that the SCOBY was growing like into the bag. If a new SCOBY grew, this one hasn't been in there long enough, but if a new SCOBY grows, it goes all in there, and you can't clean the bag, and that's no good.
Gotcha.
So what I did was I figured out that you can, and it's good to use these PET bottles, especially if you're priming, because then you can kind of squeeze them, and when they get tight,
Time to drink it.
You're about ready to go.
Yeah.
So what I do is I take my little bottle, and I take my little funnel, and you just drape this over there. This is the first time I've ever done this in front of somebody. That's what she said. So, so if you will pour the kombucha in there, and then be careful because it starts to fill up.
Yeah.
As the funnel clogs.
We've got a one-shot coffee maker thing like this at home, and you got to be careful.
So once it starts to fill up a little bit, I'll show you what to do. It's really hard. Okay, now. So it's kind of stuck there, so all you have to do is just lift that up, and whoop, off it goes. So we're going to fill it up to the bottom of that neck.
Okay.
You can smell those hops right
Yeah,
here.
you can. Has Blickman invented a kombucha gun yet?
I'm sure John Blickman would be right on that if he hears this. But you've had people ask about kombucha and brew kombucha in your shop, right?
Oh yeah,
I've
sold a lot of supplies for it.
It's a thing.
Yeah, it's a thing.
And you see the kombucha in the bottle is nice and clear.
Mm-hmm.
Right. You might as well. Okay. I was not paying attention to what I'm supposed to be doing. 2 hours later.
We about got it.
Okay. Awesome. Cool.
I think that's it.
Now, I'm going to just plop that in there.
Okay.
You want to put that in the sink?
Yeah.
we make such a great team. And here we just have table sugar. And the priming rate that I have been using is 2.5 teaspoons per one of these bottles. There's 1, 2.5.
Wow.
There we go. There's your hopped kombucha.
Kombucha.
You should have put a little bit more in there. Maybe I will a little bit later. But you set that off into a warm room, your room temperature room, just like normal. And then you have carbonated hopped kombucha.
Do we have an example of carbonated
We
hot
just
kombucha?
happen to have.
Good.
So we got Citra,
Okay.
we got Citra, and we have Amarillo. What do you want to try first?
Let's try the Amarillo first.
All right.
I don't know why.
This was for half a gallon. This was a half an ounce of Amarillo.
Okay.
Excuse me. Now sometimes there's a little blob of something that comes out.
Well, I've
And
heard
you
that
can,
before.
You can just fish that out with a spoon or whatever, and you don't have to carbonate it. You know, in fact, oh, I got the blob.
Now, the blob isn't a proto-mother, is it?
It is. It's a little.
Oh.
It's a little mother,
Well, so
so to speak.
I think I got a little Dickens.
Where did it go? So all you have to do is just fish it out, and you're fine. I mean, even if you drank that stuff, I don't think it would be.
No, it wouldn't hurt you. I'm sure it wouldn't hurt you.
So, cheers.
Wow, that's really good.
Cheers. What did I say this was? This is
Amarillo.
Amarillo.
I'm trying to remember how the commercial stuff we got. This isn't quite as sweet.
No,
As I remember.
The commercial stuff. The only issue I had with that was it's a little sweet.
It was pretty sweet, but I'm sure they have to do that commercially, you know, because the public. But the hops really come through beautifully. Really nice.
Boy, very, very bright.
It kind of reminds me of an ultra light Berliner Weiss. So imagine a Berliner Weiss and think of that as like a double imperial.
One of those.
Yeah. And that's what this reminds me of a lot.
Now let's compare and contrast
Okay.
with the Citra.
Yeah.
See who gets the cookie. Sounds like a British Christmas game, except it'd be who gets a biscuit.
Yeah.
Oh, this was 1/3 of an ounce of Citra. So this was in a half a gallon. This was a half an ounce of Amarillo. This is 1/3 of an ounce of Citra.
Okay.
So you can tell the hop character is a lot more stronger with the half an ounce.
It is. I was going to say, yeah, this is a lot more hop character. This is lighter. It's kind of lemony.
Lemony, exactly.
Yeah.
Is what I was about to say. But I like this stuff.
Nice.
This stuff is great at lunch. You know?
I had a kombucha for lunch. I mean, a commercial one.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, the one I bought to make kombucha with, but I couldn't stand it, so I drank it.
Couldn't stand to wait.
It's like, oh well, I'll just drink it. I think that the Citra version is easier to drink.
It is. And maybe that's the proper level of hops, because the hop character in the Amarillo is it's way out there.
But it's the same kombucha, right?
Essentially, yeah. It's
Okay,
it's
right.
different pouring of that, but it's pardon me.
Whoa.
It's the same recipe replenished.
I'm feeling very tart. I'm truly full of something in vinegar.
It's definitely cleansed the palate.
Well, that's super good, though.
I can feel my pH lowering.
Yeah.
Well, that's real good. Now it's not beer, but it's got hops in it, and you brew it.
I'm going to blend.
Oh, do that. I forgot the slug is. I still got a little bit of slug from the first one.
That's super nice. That's super good.
Oh, there you go.
Really, really good, and really would be just great with food. Mm-hmm. Really good.
Yeah, like I say, it's great. After lunch, you just have just about that amount.
Yeah.
And it's just good to kind of brighten things up, and it's really refreshing on a hot summer day. So there you go. There's how you make that's how you make kombucha from scratch from a commercial bottle, and then that's how you put some hops into it.
The elixir of life.
Well, there you go. If you make it, let us know what you think. Until then, happy brewing.
Happy kombucha.
Come and visit us online. At basicbrewing.com, you can find archive lists of our audio and video podcasts on home brewing. You can also find our DVDs and our brewer's logbook, where you can track and log up to 50 batches of beer. If you're in Fayetteville, Arkansas, stop by Steve's Brew Shop or find him online at stevesbrewshop.com.
That would be a song.
Hoppy kombucha.
Happy kombucha. He's actually a comic in the Poconos. Happy kombucha.